Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Shilpa Medicare Q4 FY23 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Siddharth Ragnekar. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the conference call hosted by the management of Shilpa Medicare Limited to discuss the quarterly and annual performance for the period ended March 31, 2023, and the discussion on strategic initiatives that are underway. The management is being represented by Mr. Om Prakash Enani, Chairman of Shilpa Medicare, Mr. Vishnukant Buttada, Managing Director, and Mr. Alpesh Dalal, Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Vishnukant Buttada would lead the discussion with thoughts on the business model and its perspectives on the strategy. He would be followed by Mr. Alpesh Dalal, who would give the financial perspectives and share this with you. There would be an opportunity to get your queries answered at the close of the opening remarks. Before we commence, I would like to state that some of the statements made on today's call could be forward-looking in nature, and a detailed disclaimer in this regard has been captured on the conference call invitation, which is available on the stock exchange website. I would now like to invite Mr. Vishnukant to take this discussion forward. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Vishnukant.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you for being present on our call today to discuss Shilpa Medicare's fourth quarter and annual results. Whereas I will focus on the operating and the strategic progress made during the year, I will be joined by our CFO Alpesh, who will be covering the financial aspects with you. Once we complete our remarks, we would like to invite the queries and the questions from the participants. I will just give you some of the few highlights what we have done the last year. The most important what we have received this week itself, the approval of the Pemetrexed RTU, which is the first NDA we have been approved in the USA, which is one of its kind, and the most important again, this is a RTU and the room temperature stable product. We have received this approval from and this is a launch on approval product. Hopefully we should be able to launch in next 2-3 quarters into the US market, because we have to complete some necessary formalities. So this is a big development for us to launch this molecule. The second one what we have received is the albumin. The albumin phase 1 trial has been started. Albumin, as you know, we are doing the recombinant albumin. We are the first company to start the albumin recombinant trials into the India market. And albumin being a shortage product all over the world, and the unmet need all over the world on the albumin, we have been focusing on the recombinant albumin, which will partially offset the unmet need into the albumin. And once this phase 1 trials will be completed in this current year, and with that data we will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the management's line disconnected. Please stay connected while I join the management. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the management line connected.
Okay. Thank you.
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the management line got disconnected again. Please stay connected. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the management back. Sir, you could please proceed.
Hello.
Yes, Vishnu sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical glitch. So, thank you for being present on our call today to discuss Shilpa Medicare's fourth quarter and annual results. Whereas I will focus on the operating and the strategic progress made during the year, I will be joined by our CFO Alpesh, who will cover the financial aspects with you. Once we complete our remarks, we would like to invite queries and the questions from the participants. Before that, I begin on this each sector-wise. I wanted to highlight on some of the key things which has happened during the last year as well as as on today. The most important approval which were received from the first NDA of Shilpa is premise access RTU, which is one of its kind in that particular premise access product. It's RTU, and then the second one is the room temperature stable product we have doing it. This product will be launched along with the partnership with the MNL in the US. So we are preparing ourselves for the launch because this is launch on approval product. So maybe another 1-2 quarters we should be, hopefully we should be able to launch this particular product from the third party. The second most important is we have received the albumin phase 1 trial has been already started. It was as you know, albumin is a life-saving product and always it is in a shortage. So we are doing the recombinant albumin. So phase 1 is already started. Hopefully we should be able to complete this albumin phase 1 by this year end. And once that is completed, we'll submit once again to authority for the next review. The second most important product is aflibercept. As you know that the aflibercept is a very complex product in ophthalmic range. As far as our knowledge goes, the aflibercept phase 3 trials in India, nobody has started for the India launch. So we are starting now the aflibercept phase 3. We have received the permission also from the authority to start the trials. In 1 or 2 months, we'll start the aflibercept trial also for the India launch. We're trying to develop this particular product for the global market. And with this, we'll able to try to file into the various, the ROW, EU, as well as the other market, we'll try to file this particular product. So aflibercept is again a most important, which we have started phase 3 study. The second, again, the adalimumab, which is we are waiting for the clearance from the authority on a high concentration adalimumab. We are trying to see that this month or by this quarter, we should be able to launch this adalimumab into the India market. And we are trying to focus to file this adalimumab into the various ROW as well as the EU market at least. As you know that we have made the investment in several long gestation projects with the high earning potential. The import alert of FDA squeezed the cash flow. I will give an update shortly the FDA separately, but the most important is that the investment whatever we have made into the API on a onco API, peptide, polymer, CDMO business. These are all businesses which required the gestation period and the huge the capex. We completed almost all work which we need to complete. Onco is our main portfolio. API is a cash giving division, and we are working on all the products thoroughly. The second most important is happening in this, that the peptide which we are trying to take, already 2 exhibit batches of the 2 products has been completed. This year we are going to complete the liraglutide and the semaglutide, the exhibit batches also in the API. Polymer is again the division which we are focusing, and we are complex polymer. We are trying to make it and give it to the innovator or the somewhere as a carrying agent in the formulation. The CDMO business, I am happy to say that some of the customers whom we have delivered the CDMO, they came back to us with giving the second project or third project. So CDMO business again will try to give the revenue from this year onward also. So on a API, and we are trying to see the API, which is non-oncology API, which has a high potential in the growth, as well as the import substitute API. We are trying to do that also API. The API division is continuously will grow as anticipated. You will see the operating cash flow for the year, which Alpesh will explain you separately. We are doing the several cost controls into the R&D and including the formulation R&D. We are trying to shift our entire focus into the FTF, which is 100% division of the Shilpa. There we are trying to focus, and the R&D cost can be reduced in our the regularly, and that also will give the substantial saving on a cash flow. So this is what the major things. We have launched the 5 nutraceutical products in the US from the film formulation. Transdermal patch, the phase 3 study has been already started. So these are the key things on each of the divisions we are trying to do it, which has a long gestation period. Reduction in the capex also we are trying to do, except the biocare, where the commercial the plant for the albumin fermentation, we are creating the 250 KL, the fermentation facility in India, which will take care of the albumin once we do the commercialization, not only albumin, but the several clean chemistry. If we really somebody wanted to have the start with the CDMO business, that also can be started. So this is what the key remarks of the last year and the current year, whatever we are trying to do it. So coming back on the API, we already explained that the several DMFs have been filed. Almost 200 plus DMF has been filed in the various geographies of the geography, and we will see that the revenue and putting up this focus on the marketing in that particular geography will give us additional revenue. Of course, from the polymer, peptide, and the CDMO business, and the import substitute API, increasing the capacity of the existing API, focusing more the customers on the existing API. So this is what will add this revenue in the future for the API. On a formulation front, the whatever we have since February 21, due to the import alert, the cash flow was badly impacted. So we are trying to see that the remediation measures is almost completed, and we have submitted to the FDA that all we are ready for the inspection. FDA has said that okay, they have seen the compliance reports and all. So they will try to visit our facility. This is what the message we got from them. So now we are waiting for, but the dates and this one is not known to us. So we are waiting for them when they will come for the visit. Other than the US, recently we have got the clearance from the Canadian authority. Then again all these regularly the TGA also inspection has been completed. Recently the Nacharam facility, which FDA has inspected our facility for the quality, whatever the products we are manufacturing at Jarchala and other sites, all has been getting it analyzed at our Nacharam facility. So that facility also has been recently got cleared from the FDA 2 times. Second time inspection also got cleared from the FDA. Other than the US FDA Jarchala facility, I think we are clearing all these other authorities as well as the customer inspection regularly. So on the complex, the formulation, whatever we are developing it, either we are transferring to the other facility or filing it in the European market, ROW market, trying to get the licensing out of this. The asset which we have it, which has been created for last 3-4 years, we are trying to monetize these all assets regularly. This is what the focus is there on a formulation. And the reduction into the R&D expenditures, which I mentioned. This will give the operating cash flows regularly. Again on the film formulation and transdermal, due to the UK MHRA approval of this facility and the launch into the US, the nutraceutical products, this will help us in building up the revenue also. Next 1-2 years will start giving us the revenue also from this facility, from the our Bangalore facility for the film formulation and transdermal. Biologicals, as I mentioned, that the adalimumab, aflibercept, adalimumab, aflibercept, and the albumin. So these are the products where completed almost the development has been over. Another 3 products are there in the pipeline, like the abatacept, the premzulumab, and the tenecteplase. These 3 molecules are there under the development. This also for this year and the next year, whatever we can do it, we will try to complete this molecule. We are taking the most complex project in the biologics also, which will definitely give us a revenue in the future. So on the biologics also, as I mentioned, but we have reduced the cost there also, rationalization cost on the R&D, which are the most important project only we are trying to get it. All the expenditures on the R&D also has been completed because of the same products has moved to the clinical level now. So the major focus is their reduction in the capex. So other than the biocare and the some small capex into the API, rest all capex has been done. So further no capex is required. So managing the cash flow and trying to get the highest revenue as well as the bottom line. This is a focus for this current year. And that as we have pride ourselves on the research orientation organization, the team have the rich domain expertise, and we are looking to build the formidable niche in the categories where we are present. I am hopeful that by the next year, we'll see that the transformation take place in the performance backed by the robust portfolio across segments. With this, I end my opening remarks and wish to invite the CFO to continue the discussion forward. Alpesh, over to you.
Thank you, sir. And good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being with us today for this earnings call. I'll quickly share some financial highlights of our consolidated performance. During Q4, our overall revenues are flat at 266 crores compared to the sequential quarter, that we look at. However, our better business mix in Q4 resulted in better margins for us in Q4 and thus improving our EBITDA to 40 crore as compared to 34 crore in the previous quarter. Right? I would focus more on the annual performance to provide, a clearer picture of our performance. So our overall revenues recorded an 8% decline at 1,068 crores as compared to 1,160 crores. And this was mainly on account of the dip that we saw in the formulation business on account of pricing pressure across various markets, right? But this reduction or pricing pressure obviously has its impact on profitability, and we have been able to reduce this overall impact, by working on our efficiencies and reduce our costs. So we have seen reduction in our costs mainly on account of lower remedial costs that we had to incur at our Jatchalra facility, plus reduction in the plant-related expenses that were getting incurred. So we have brought in efficiencies over that. And as an organization, we continuously keep looking at various initiatives for containing our costs and try to bring in more efficiencies across various businesses. And we'll continue doing so in the current year as well to bring in more efficiencies, right? And as I was mentioning that whilst on the profitability front, we have had a tough year, but I'm happy to share that we have tightened our overall operation and have been able to generate positive operation cash flows of over 250 crores as compared to 140 crores last year, right, on a consolidated basis. So, and this 250 crore, in 250 crore, we have also been able to release working capital of about 148 crores. So we are overall tightening our operations in a manner where, we are monitoring our costs. We are putting, a close watch on our working capital requirements, and we are tightening our screws across the board to bring in more efficiencies and improve our overall cash flows. And that effort will continue even in the current year, where we hope to keep working on efficiencies across the board. Right. So our focus in the coming in this year and in coming years will continue to remain on cash flow generation, as a management of the company. And just to update that in the past, company has been paying dividends fairly regularly. But in the current year, due to negative operational profit as well as the need for conserving cash, the board of the company has decided not to recommend any dividend. Right. With this, I would like to close my commentary and would want to open the forum for Q&A.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use only handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and one. Our first question comes from the line of Shikhar Mundra with VWalk Commercial Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to understand for the biologics, adalimumab, what is the market we are targeting and what is the market potential and the revenue potential we are targeting?
The current market is whatever we are getting it for India market only. The
Okay.
India market high concentration formulation was just recently launched by I think one more company. So the high concentration market, adalimumab has a very good market, and this is the highest selling product in the US and the other. If you see it, in the biologic, the Humira is around $20 billion plus product. So in India, we are launching this particular product. The revenue target will be around this year. Conservatively, we are trying to see that around 20 to 25 crore rupees we can do it.
Okay. And when is the expected launch date for?
I think next year, next quarter, this quarter only, but max this quarter.
Okay. And how big is the India market, you would say?
It's almost 100 plus crore market.
Okay. So right now it is being catered by the other company or is it being imported?
No, it is catered by the other countries, but it is not a high concentration formulation. It's an old formulation.
All right. All right. And what's the margin profile we would expect for this adalimumab?
Margin profile, I can't say.
Basically, biological products are better margin earning products as compared to API and chemistry formulations.
Okay.
So,
all right. And for albumin, so we are right now in phase 1 trials, right?
Yeah, phase 1 we started.
Okay. So what's I mean, how long do you expect we'll be able to launch it? I mean, when we do phase 2, phase 3 trials and then launch it?
I think 2024 end, we should be able to launch this product.
And what is there a probability that I mean our trials might not be successful? What would you say is like the probability? I mean, we'll be able to complete our phase 2, phase 3 trials, or is there a probability of the project being rejected or?
No, project rejection, I don't think there is a remotest possibility. Rather, there is a very negligible possibilities in this because
Okay.
we completed. We have received the NBO status, also new biological entity status from the. We have granted patent from the several countries. The most important in this, we have completed the safety study already in the animals and all. Now we are doing the biological. So until the biologicals, probably as you know, until the biosimilarity or this is not proven, you will not be allowed to take any trials. So the chances
Okay.
of failure is remote.
Okay. And how big is the market for albumin and the revenue we are targeting?
Revenue target is, it's almost, the market is huge. It's all over world shortage product. The market is not that the almost $6-7 billion market. I think. Yeah.
globally, it is about $9 billion
$9
market.
billion.
And albumin as a product, as Vishnuji was mentioning, is a shortage product. So
Okay.
when we launch a product, we expect that it can have the effect of expanding the market instead of trying to capture an existing market. So we can obviously get some part of existing market as well, but it can also have an effect of expanding the market because there is significant demand and supplies are not there.
That is what we are trying to complete this facility of this the biggest fermentation facility. We are trying to complete. Before this, we get the final clearance. Our commercial facility also should be validated. This is what our intention.
Okay. And so these will be manufactured out of Dharwad, right?
No. Dharwad, from there it will be completed the trials and all. But the manufacturing will be done near Raichur.
Near Raichur only. Okay. And coming to the Bangalore plant, so I want to understand what are the fixed costs for the plant and what's the break even for the Bangalore plant and our revenue potential?
I think that can be given separately once you send the mail. I think we should be able to give it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star, then 1. Our next question comes from Tushar Bora with MK Ventures. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. And congratulations to management for better show this time, QOQ. Sir, quickly first on albumin, while for the pharmaceutical grade, you mentioned 2024 end possible launch. We can also launch albumin in excipient grade, right? So if you could share timelines around that and what are the initiatives being taken?
You are correct, Tushar. We can launch always the excipient grade or the another grade, microbiological grade. That all can be done. But I think next year mid we should be able to launch that also.
Oh, got it, sir. And for pemetrexed RTU, so if assuming we launch it in the next 1 or 2 quarters, as you're saying, what kind of revenue profile do you see possible in this year and next year? And over a stable state, what kind of size do you think this molecule can build conservatively and in an aggressive scenario?
See, we are working, as I'm already given in the disclosure also, that we are working with the MNL on this particular product. We are trying to, because in 2 days before only we received this approval. We are trying to work with them, and as this is manufactured in the third party, so that will give us. But I can tell you one thing. I think the same product of Eagle Pharmaceutical, which is launched into this is RTD and 2 to 8 degree temperature product. That product is, I think, $75 or $80 million, around $50 to $80 million product that is.
So we should ideally be able to gain market share from that product as well as create a market of our own, right? With better characteristics around the room storage, room temperature storage.
This is what we are expecting from MNL.
Got it. And we also have a licensing component, right? So pemetrexed, ideally with the product being approved, we should expect a licensing revenue as well.
As per the terms of the agreement, we will recognize those revenues, based on the terms.
Confidential information are also there. I think yes.
Okay. Sure. Thanks, sir. I'll join back in for some more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star, then 1. Our next question comes from Anuj Sharma with M3 Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you and congratulations for an improvement. We talked about another player selling albumin. Can you just explain what is the capacity he has and does it disrupt the market in any which ways?
Albumin capacity? I have not understood the question.
No, I think we mentioned there's another player who's been supplying albumin in the Indian markets. Is that correct, or maybe I got it wrong?
No, we're not supplying anything in albumin.
No, I'm saying another competitor offering albumin in Indian markets. Did I hear it correctly, or?
That is a plasma derived.
Okay, so what is the capacity and does it disrupt our opportunity set in any which ways?
No, that is the plasma derived product, and the capacity individually, whatever they are producing, I mentioned that this is a shortage product in India also, all over the world, but in India also there is always shortage product. So whatever the capacity they have it, From the blood, you have a limitations of the getting this plasma product. That is why we have developed this technology where we can make it from the recombinant albumin. So there is no blood plasma is required.
All right. Another question is, we were exploring a transaction in one of our options. So we are still open to that. Is that ongoing, or due to improvements we don't see ourselves getting a new partner or something?
Giving that details will be, but as it is whatever we have disclosed in the stock exchange, that's still it is live only.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star, then 1. Our next question comes from Aniket with BMSPL. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, thanks for the opportunity. So I had a few questions on the API business. So can you just give a color on what went wrong in the oncology segment in FY23 overall? And also, what type of growth can we see in the API business in the coming year? And what is your assessment on margins? Like, how will the margin shape up in this segment for the coming year? If you could give some color.
Oncology is again the regularly we were being known in the oncology, and we were the first companies to start on the oncology APIs. And oncology being a focus area, we are continuously try to grow in this particular division. So, and the margins are also normally it is high in the oncology. So the oncology will be a focus area for sure. The growth in this oncology is always possible because some of the molecules which are going to get expired in the 23, 24, these are all, or 25, the molecules which are up to 27, the molecules, all molecules which are getting it expired, almost all molecules will already covered in our API development and the filing. So onco being the focus area, we are there in that. And this will definitely grow for sure.
And on the overall API business, can you give some color on any kind of guidance which you can give?
I mentioned double digits growth probably is definitely possible in this for this year. And the onco, non-onco, the polymer, peptide, and the CDMO business, each of the division will grow in this year. And the corona era has been now almost getting it over. A lot of companies have restarted buying it. Prices are more or less getting it stabilized on the intermediate. And this all will improve the API uptake and the margin.
Okay, and just a final question on the CDMO and CRAMS business as a part of the API. So do you have any targets where you want to take this part of the business over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Yes, definitely. We have, but probably the numbers and all can be done maybe after 1 year or 2 years of this. But we are continuously focusing on the CRAMS and the CDMO business. And we have all these capabilities. We can do in a onco CDMO. We can do in non-onco CDMO. We can do in polymer, peptide. So all the divisions which is required fermentation. So whatever the people needs it in the API or this any of this chemistry, we have in-house capability of doing all these things. So we feel that the CDMO capabilities, and we have great expertise also. That scientist team has been already built on that. So CDMO and this business also will definitely grow.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, if you wish to ask a question, please press star, then 1. Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Yeah, Is there anybody else in the queue? If you can just check once.
Sure, sir. Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
Yes. A question comes from the line of Tushar Bora with MK Ventures. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the follow-up opportunity. Sir, if you can highlight on the CDMO side, both biologics and the traditional API CDMO, what are some of the opportunities that have crystallized recently? Biologics, have we been able to make any headway into CDMO?
No, CDMO, there are several interests are coming now because we have from the clone development to fill finish facility. So we are trying to work with the various companies who are, interested in working in the CDMO as well as in the development part also. So this is what we are doing it. But the CDMO on the API, CDMO especially working with some of the intermediates with the originator or the European and the US companies, where we are trying to focus into the intermediates where we will have a continuous revenue from in the API. And the biologicals is the major part, it comes from the CDMO business only. And this is what our focus now.
Got it, sir. And in terms of the outlook for the coming year, should we take Q4 as the new base and hope that profitability will improve further from here in FY24? Is there any outlook that you can share also? I think you mentioned revenue, double-digit revenue growth. Did I hear that correctly? You can give an outlook for the overall business, FY24.
No, I have given the general overview of the outlook of the business because each of the segments we have already invested in this the high capital incentives area, and we almost were at the verge of the completion of in each of these biologics, API formulations, the transdermal patch and film formulation, CDMO business. So this year onward, we feel that each of the division will get matured and try to give this the revenue from the each division.
So therefore, should we assume, sir, that an overall revenue level, maybe a double-digit growth is possible, more than 10%, and profitability should be much better? We are still at a PAT level loss in this quarter as well. Should we assume that going forward, we will return back to profitability at PAT level as well?
Yeah, this is our intention also. That is what you are seeing, that the several cost-cutting measures, increasing the volume, increasing the product mix, adding the more geography for the formulation, getting it licensing revenue, and the reduction in the capex and all these things. Definitely reduction in the interest cost. So these are all will definitely add, these all factors will add for the growth of the company from now on.
And sir, on remediation efforts, how much would we have spent in FY23? And assuming that we have almost completed the remediation, should we assume that FY24 there would not be much cost aligned towards this head?
Yes, yes. Now almost all remediation is completed. Now the very bare minimum maintenance, the expenditure is there. Nothing else.
And how much would have been the expenditure in FY23, sir, on remediation efforts at Jetshella?
It's been a little over 7 crores, Tushar.
Okay.
Again,
7.
Previous year it was roughly around 30 crores. Against 30 crores we have spent roughly about 7 crores during FY23.
Okay. And just a quick clarification on Pemetrexed. What are the activities that further need to be done since we have got the approval? And while you mentioned 1 or 2 quarters, when is the earliest you think we could launch the product?
Frankly, we are not knowing it, but we can launch it because we have to transfer this again, get it manufactured, and they will also gear up for their marketing and all. We'll be knowing it by this next month around 10-15 the clear strategy on this.
Right. So, Tushar, since this is an NDA, the commercial and marketing team would need to, now assess the on-ground situation and create a strategy around launch, when to launch, what all steps to take while launching and all. So that's where, there might be some timeline requirement, including, lead time for manufacturing the commercial batch.
But there are no regulatory things pending, right? We have the approval and everything.
No.
That.
Nothing.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Shikhar Mundra with Vivo Commercial Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So how much have we invested in the Dharwad facility for biologics?
We have roughly invested about 200 crores till now.
Dharwad.
Sorry, Dharwad. My apologies. In Dharwad, we have invested around 600 crores till now.
600 crores. And so this is only for biologics, right? So I want to understand, like adalimumab has not a very big revenue potential as we said of 20 to 25 crores, and albumin is being introduced at 2024 end. So what's the plan to use this facility for?
Aflibercept manufacturing of the other products plus CDMO business. We're trying to do it.
So how big are we targeting the CDMO business to be in the next 3 years?
Definitely we'll have the.
So basically, Shikhar, there is a significant, requirement for good quality facility being available for biological products, and which is the area which we are trying to, exploit right now. And our, team is working on actively on, getting CDMO opportunities over there. I think when certain things crystallize, we'll be able to talk more about that. It will be a little premature to discuss, more details about those opportunities.
Okay, got it. And can we assume like we are at the end of our capex cycles, or do we plan to do any more capex or any more plants?
I think biologics almost we completed. Nothing is there. Our film and transdermal batch, nothing is there. R&D we completed. Now except in the API and the biocare, which is now we have to complete this facility for the fermentation facility for albumin.
Okay. And how much do you plan to invest in that biocare?
Pardon? Sorry, what was the question?
How much do we plan to invest in the biocare facility for albumin?
I think this year another 75 crores.
So in total, we probably would do around that kind of a capex during this year.
I'm sorry, I missed your. I missed the number. How much?
Sorry, your voice.
I missed the number. I think your voice got disconnected. 75 crores. Okay. Got it. And I mean, this is a general question, but I know it's tough to answer. But I mean, as a company, where do we see ourselves in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what's the revenue target we set for ourselves? Having done so much capex across all segments, biologics, formulations.
Giving the specific number will be difficult, but we have already told you the segments which were there. They're all complex, the high growth and the high margin segments which were invested for several years.
Right.
Now on, we see that only the possibilities of the growth in all segments.
And I want to understand, because of this US FDA observations, how much would you say has been the revenue impact? Like, if not for the observations, what would have been our formulations revenue till now? I mean,
it is difficult to then put a number how much would have had been our formulation revenue, because then there are several new product approvals that could have come in, and things market situation for some of our existing products could have changed. So we can't really put up a number over there that how much could have had been the sales and all.
Okay. And when do we see this whole situation getting resolved? Like, what's our expected date?
I think Vishnuji just mentioned in his opening remarks that we have communicated with FDA and now awaiting action at their end. So that's something which is not known to us. So we'll just have to wait it out.
Thank you. Our next question comes from line of Bhagwan Chaudhary with Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for opportunity, sir. So just two questions. What is the plan, the capex plan for the next year? As you said that this will be mainly for this albumin side. How much it would be?
For albumin, as we mentioned, no, 75 crores. 75 crores.
Okay. Second is one thing, just your thought process on this debt side, because right now I think we are having around 800 crore of debt. So just broadly, what we are thinking from 2-3 years perspective, that how it is going to pan out in terms of cash flow and in terms of the reducing the debt.
Several measures, whatever. Yeah. So see, basically, as we discussed in our opening remarks also, Bhagwan, that we are taking various measures on the operational front to improve our overall performance and profitability. As I had discussed in my remarks, that operational cash flows have been better as compared to last year because we have tightened our working capital as well. Having said that, we are also looking at other options and opportunities for bringing down our leverage on strategic front as well in the past. So we are working on those options along with the opportunities. So certainly, we are looking at deleveraging, our current position and as quickly as possible.
Got it. And so one question on this albumin side. You said that we are likely to launch by the second year, the next year's end. So my understanding is it would be the phase 1, phase 2, and then filing with the regulator. So every process will take 8-9 months or more than that?
It's a phase 1 we have to complete, and then it will be a phase 3. Yeah.
And then
phase 1.
Okay. And then, sir, filing with the regulator, or it will be the approval by the end of the phase 3? Just want to understand the timeline. So your voice is cracking.
Please submit it to the authority. Then they will verify the data. They will give their.
Sir, I couldn't get your voice is cracking actually.
No, as I said you that we have to complete the phase 3, submit it to the authority. After verification, they will.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Ritvik Sheth with One Up Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. My question is on the margins. You mentioned that we are looking at double-digit top-line growth in FY24. So, if I look at your historical figures, this will be the highest ever revenue for us. So, what kind of margins we can expect? What range we can expect for FY24? Can it be mid to high teens?
So, basically, as you mentioned, currently, if we look at our EBITDA margin, this year margin was anyways at 11%. So, after taking those measures that we are talking about and incremental business, our expectation would be that there will be improvement in that.
Okay. Any range that we are looking at? Or
no, we probably would not be in a position to provide any guidance over there, but we certainly expect improvement over there.
Sure. And just one broad, question on the peak turnover for us. We have done a lot of capex in the last 3 years. So with the enhanced capacity and capability and these new products that we are going to launch in the next 1 to 2 years, what kind of peak turnover we are looking at from current base?
Again, as Vishnu had just mentioned, that we can expect double-digit growth for the foreseeable future, and it's a running situation, right? So we keep investing, we keep getting higher growth and all. So there's no concept as peak revenue per se. peak revenue could come in from a specific plant or anything, but not as a company or as an organization.
Sure. Okay. And
Yeah.
and just one follow-up to the previous participant's question on the debt. What would be a comfortable debt on an absolute basis for the company?
We'll come back to you guys a little later on that, because we are actively working on certain plans, for the deleveraging as I was talking about. So at this point, I wouldn't want to make any comment on that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Aniket with BMSPL. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the follow-up question opportunity. So just a final question on the formulations business. So can you just give a color on how do we plan on growing from where we are right now, and what are the opportunities that you see which lie ahead of us from here?
Pardon, your question, your voice was not very clear. You need to repeat.
Yeah, I'll just repeat my question. Yeah, so my question was on the formulations business. So basically, I wanted to ask, how do you see the business growing from where we are right now, and what are the opportunities that lie ahead of us in this segment going ahead?
Yeah. So, for the formulation business, as Vishnuji was mentioning, that we have, new product approval that has come in, of Pemetrex's. We are exploring, expanding our horizon in, various other geographies as well. So, we basically have built our commercial, team now to exploit these opportunities further. So we expect a decent turnaround happening in our formulation business from here on.
With the getting approval from the Canadian authority, TGA, these all will help us to build the sales in the other regions also.
Okay. Thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. We take our last question, which is from the line of Anuj Sharma from M3 Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. My question has just been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we reached to the end of the question and answer session. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming and joining our earnings call today. We hope to continue with this initiative and hope for your continued support for our company. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Shilpa Medicare, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.